Mercedes CDI 2-liter diesel from 2007, and he's here for a big service. So let's get cracking. These are the parts. Today we're using recoil filters and Perflux. So this is the filter for the diesel. You have two kinds. Pay attention. This is one without the water sensor. You have the other one with the water sensor, and that would be in the middle of the filter. But this is one without. Pretty cheap, pretty good. We have the oil filter, ROF170. The other one for the diesel was RGF037. Then we have the pollen filter, or the cabin filter, however you want to say it. Cabin filter says recoil, so it's cabin filter. RCF514. These ones, not so cheap. These ones, because you have a plastic piece here, which comes with the filter apparently. And plastic piece over here. This one is with the gliding action. All right. There was an explanation in the box. It's underneath the passenger compartment, so you have to let's see, you have to detach the plastic thing there. Yeah, pretty easy. Just detach the plastic cover and then you'll have it. Yep. All right, nice to know. And then we have the air filter. Yep, this is from Perflux. Couldn't find the one on the other brand, Mercedes-Benz, blah blah. A1215. This is a cylindric air filter. Nice. So let's lift the car and start. Yep. Some concentrate for the washer fluid. And let's top it off with some water. Let's check the coolant, the level. Yep, it's looking good. Where is it marked? The maximum level. Oh, I see, it's on the inside. Yeah. You should be at the black bottom part. There you have two lines. You should reach the bottom of the line. So yeah, the half of the tank for most cars is good. So that's an easy way to how to know if it's full enough. Half of the reservoir, something like that. Something more perhaps on some cars. But if it's half full, you're in the ballpark. Hopla. Let's check it. Looks nice and green, bluish. Yeah, it's a good indication. It's in top shape. I'm pretty concentrated. Minus 39. Yep. Minus 40. Yep. Well, that will do. It won't freeze that hard in Belgium, but depending on where you live, of course, it should be at the correct temperature. So if you're doubting it, buy one of these, pretty cheap refractometers, glycomet it's called, this one. For a couple of bucks you can score it on eBay or Amazon. And before you put this on, each year I put some grease on the threads and also on the rubber seal. So if you can see here, just a tiny amount on the rubber seal as well, a little bit, and that way it will come out next time like it came out this time, easy and not stuck. Pull off the engine cover, so you pull it up and then slide it forwards towards yourself, and as you can see, every year I also lubricate these rubber mounts. Some fresh white grease will do just fine. That way we can easily take it off, put it on, and be on our way. Makes life a little bit easier. So first we're gonna drop the engine oil. Of course we're gonna inspect the belts. Pretty easy belt here, just right in front of us. You can pull on the belt a little bit, and that way you can make sure the tensioner, can you see it? It moves, is moving pretty good. Yeah, if you pull on the belt and the tensioner is like this, you probably will have a rattle when the engine is turning stationary. These ones have it most of the time, and it makes like a something like that, and that's your tensioner that is going south. So pay attention to that. Check for water leaks, as the water pump is also in front here, and of course black spots, oil from the turbo hoses, but nothing to see here. Everything looks fine, looks good. So let's take off the oil filter, this one over here. Let's get our adapter. Takes the 7614, it's marked inside, the oil filter adapter, the housing at least, oil filter housing adapter. If you take your meter, you measure from one side to the other, you'll have 76 millimeters, as you can see. That's diameter, and 14 shapes like this, up, little rectangle shapes. Hopla. This will pop on, and there we go. Let's take our wrench. And there we go. If you lubricate the seal, which I will show you in just 1 second, every time you will have no problem at all taking it off. I like to get my tool off before, there we go, before we take out the filter. But first we're gonna loosen it a little bit, and then the valve will open at the bottom of the filter, and the oil will drain to the oil sump. So a little bit further, and there we go. You can hear it and you can feel it when you touch it as well. So just get it loose enough. As you can see, this is pretty loose. It won't leak, this one. So yeah, good concept. Let's take off the bottom plates, the plastic plates, and continue and drop the oil. All right, 8mm socket will do the trick, and this is in 2 parts. So first we take off this one. Yepla. I say yepla, and one more over there. Yep. Bam. And there we go. That's the first part. Over here we have the belt as well again, and you can check the turbo hoses for leaks and stuff. Yeah, if you want to check the radiator, the bottom part, then you take off this plastic as well. What do we see here? Nothing special. A little bit of sweat on the servo, power steering lines. Nothing special. A little bit of wow. It's surface rust. If you rub it with your finger, it's gone. So yep, looks all pretty good to me. A little bit of sweat over there as well. Also power steering. No problem at all. So now we're gonna support the car. You can support it over here, here. This is all good, and then in the back as well, of course. And I'm gonna lower the lift, and then I can take off just a little bit to be safe. Then I can take off this plastic part of the bottom plate. Let's do that. Just to give you an insight, in the back I like to put one just on the subframe here in the middle. That's all very thick steel, so that's okay. You can put it right over there. You could do it on differential as well, but I like to take it over here at the sway bar, at the mounting points for the rubber. Yep, there's some nice room to put your jack stands under. Of course, if you let it rest on the jack stands, let it rest a little bit, check them again, double check them, be sure you're safe, and then we can lower the lift, unless your lift is stuck behind the jack stand. It was stuck behind the safety. Alright, so yep, that will do. Alrighty. Whew. Now we come again. Clearance to free the bolts of the plate before you lower your lift or jack, whatever that you have, completely. I don't like to do it completely unless I have to weld or something. But then I put some more jack stands under it. Now I have only three. Three is enough, so on 3 points. So make sure, wiggle the car like you would work on it. As you can see, this car will not move when I bump in the front or in the back or on the side, so this is safe to work on. It will not move, Newton will take care of it. Hey, let's continue. So now we can take off these bolts on the side here. Yeah, just leave them over there, and one a little bit further back over there. Yep, hopla, and someone's back. If you can see it, there are two center bolts that hold the second plastic cover in, so those ones are for last, of course, so it doesn't fall on your head. And that's one over here. One center bolt. So this one you take off last, so it doesn't fall on your face. All right, so one over there. And now the rest of the bolts. Well, pardon me. That fell in my head. In my neck. In my head. What the fuck. So, one over there. Hopla. One over here. Hopla. And let me see, did I miss one? Nope. Seems good, it's only the center one. Bam. And there we go. We can slide the plastic cover a little bit further. And then we have made some room for the engine oil to drop. And let's get a pen and loosen this bad boy up. 13mm wrench will do the trick. 13mm wrench. Hopla. Loosened it already a bit, so I cheated a bit. When the engine oil is warm, make sure your pan is a bit further back. This one is medium, so it will fall up right over there. Make sure it's still under the bolt, the hole somewhere, because it might drip a little bit. You can also hold it to be sure. Yep. And then you can drop it when the oil is flying out. Yeah, this one is a medium warm. And can you see the drippings? barely I think. And let's take it out. Voila. So, as you can see, this one was right in the target. Show it back because the beam, the oil beam, will get a little bit less strong. Yeah, the copper washer was lost in the pan, but I'll find it. So let it drip out. Would say like 20 minutes for sure, and then it will be good. Let's continue. At this stage, we can, while the oil is running out, as you can hear, we can change the oil filter element. Yep, there you go. Oh, I like to keep the box for the old filter, so we can dispose of it a little bit safer. Alrighty. It should be pretty dry because we loosened it already and the oil ran out. Yep, that is right. Nice. So, yeah, put this one over here for the time being. I like to put my hand on this and just pull with my fingers. Could be pretty stuck in there, but wiggle it around a bit if it's stuck and it will come out. Right, we have the same filter. Always nice to see that. Now we change 3 seals. Rubber seals, not navy seals. Come right back. Let's find a little screwdriver, flat one. Oh, it's in my pants. Most useful tools I have are in my pants. Yep, that's one. The big one comes off. Then we have a smaller one over here. Yep. There we go. Bam. And then we have a very small one over here, and that's what keeps the oil in the filter housing. If you lift it up like we did, then you release the oil inside here, because this bad boy gets pulled back a little bit. Now you can drop it. Alright, so now we install the new ones. Little guy first, hopla. Then a slightly bigger one. Just peel it on there with your fingers. Do that with the screwdriver. Always have a pocket screwdriver in your pocket, of course, else it would be a regular one. It's like a lifesaver. So this one lives over here. Hold it with your thumb and peel it back a little bit, put it on. Make sure you lubricate it, because as you saw, it was pretty easy to take it off, because we always lubricate the seals. For the next time we have to do this job. Then this side or that side, it's the same, doesn't matter. Push it on and make sure it can spin. So if you turn it in, that this doesn't get torced in one way or the other. Put this back in. Of course, always check out the filter housing. No seals inside, nothing weird in there. All right, no burrs. Could always be the case that something falls in. Always double check. Pretty important stuff here. Seems simple, but it's so important, and an engine is pretty expensive. Alright, 25 Newton meters as all filters with plastic caps, all filter housing. housings with plastic caps. Take up. Yeah, that's 25. And I turn a little bit back so we can take off the adapter, because it's a good fit but not really super perfect, so there's a little bit of play on it. If you turn it back a little bit, clack, this part breaks loose and this one stays put. All right, let's continue with the seal, and let's see, what do we have here? Yep, it's time for my new box. Once in a while I buy a new box, so I have the correct sizes on there, because sometimes I drop the boxes. Nope. Is it this one? Ah, this one fits, and you have to make sure it fits correctly. Yep, it does, because there's a little conical shape here and it has to go over the conical shape. So press it down and feel for it. Look, this one is, yep, this one's perfect. Pretty good. All right, sorry. So 16, 22 and 2, that's the thickness in millimeters. That was no, yep, that's the one. That's the one. 60 millimeters, 22 millimeters and 2 millimeters thickness. All right, first one is the inner diameter and the second one is the outer diameter. This will work. Let's put it on. When the oil is drained, I can hear it still running, so let's wait a little bit. Aha! How to inflate the tires. 2.1 bars and 2.1 for the rear, front and rear. 30 psi, so that's the correct inflation of air. Right, I like to put in 2.2 because air goes out a little bit by time, so 2.2, so your customer doesn't have to, well, normally you should check it every 3 months, but some customers forget and then they come back for maintenance and they're at 1.7 or something. This one is still yep, perfect, even perfect. Now it's even more perfect. All right, so 2.2, that's what I put in there. While we wait for the oil to drain other side as well. It's not a commercial, but I like to use this one these days for the hinges and the locks and stuff. So, little film on there will make it last a lot longer. Blah. As you can see, last year I did with white grease, but the grease in my can is gone, so let's use the WD-40. A little bit more expensive, but yeah, really good stuff. And you can feel the difference immediately. So your locks will feel it as well, I think. All right, so we do that while we wait for the oil to drain a little bit more. And I'll catch you under the car. And don't forget this bad boy for winter time. And don't forget your trunk lock and the gas tank lid as well, as there's a little pin. Oh, and pay attention for these kind of things. So this one has a difficult to reach hinges on the inside, so wow, it's protected, it's dry. And I'll show you what I mean with the gas lid. Gas tank cover, gas tank lid. Over here you have a, when you lock the car, you have a little piece that shoots out that locks the gas tank lid cover, whatever you want to call it, so people cannot steal your diesel or put wrong stuff in there. So yeah, make sure you you lubricate this bad boy inside here, because if it's stuck, you're in a in for a difficult day. Your hood locks right over here. Okay, they were still lubricated, but a little bit of fresh one can't hurt. All right, and of course all the moving parts over here as well, so you never get stuck in the middle of the road with a stuck hood. At least this bad boy, a little bit of grease as well, lubrication up over there. So yeah, look at that, like new as new. So only a little bit of drippings anymore. Let's put the bolt, drain bolt, back in. Righty tighty, lefty loosey, of course. And yep, it goes in. And make sure there's no double copper washer on there. So I saw it fall in the pan and I don't see it anymore, so this one is good. Give it a wipe, apply. Remove your oil pan, because you can drop your tool in the pan. Don't ask me how I know. Alrighty, yep. Having difficulty today to know what's left and right in the opposite direction. Yep, you feel the copper washer getting squeezed, and that's good. I would say that's probably 20 Newton meter, something like that. Yep, most of those bolts are 20. That can't hurt, but you can feel the copper washer when you tighten it up. It feels soft, and then suddenly it's getting harder and harder, and that's a clear indication that the copper is being compressed into the drain bolts. Let's put on the plastic cover again. Yay! That's what I mean. When you compress it, you can clearly see the bolt catching in the copper, and the other side is a engine side, oil sump side. So yeah, there you can see it, what happens when you squeeze on the drain bolt and tighten it up. While you're here, you might as well check out the drive axle, the long one that goes to the back, the rear wheels, for any cracks or something. Can you see it? Yeah, maybe a little bit. All right, this one looks yeah, still looks pretty good, still has a lot of miles to go. And yeah, same for the one in the back. You also have a rubber one over there, and the bearing and stuff. Right, let's continue. 5 easier. Install the center bolt of the plate again, and then you can put in all the rest. Yep. I use 8 Newton meters for these bolts, so you don't over tighten them, and can reuse them a long time. And that's soundproof, I think. Let's continue. This one takes 6.5 liters of 5W30 oil with this specification or the latest additives. Also pretty good. Nice of Mercedes to put it on the engine, on a cover, some cover. Normally you should find 229.31 on your oil somewhere. As you can see, this one is the latest, and it has the 229.31 Mercedes-Benz on there. Also good for BMW, Opel, VW, blah blah blah, the list goes on and on and on. Check it out, latest additives, 5W30. Most of the time you're in for good oil. The air filter, take a screwdriver and do all these little attachments here. And in the back, right over there, somewhere around my middle finger, there's also one. So don't forget to take it off. And yep, it's off. Up, then the other ones. There we go. There's a little tab right here that we have to press in a little bit, and then we can lift out the air filter. It's a kind of a pain in the ass to do this one because, ooh man, sometimes you can really struggle with it. So, as you can see, it's about time to swap it out. I know this car pretty well. It drives to the ocean and back these days, so yeah, I was expecting some sand and debris, dust, and yep. So yeah, it's the right time to swap it out. Yep, let's get a fresh one in there. And before we do that, I'm gonna block off the hole with our hand right here on the mass airflow sensor and clean it out with some shop air. Yep, and don't lose your seal in the process of cleaning it. As you can see, this one has to be back in its position. Yep. All right. Let's get our new one. And maybe I'll take off my dirty gloves, so we didn't blacken it already. So this comes with some nice extra plastic to pack it. All right. This one is kept together. It's actually a little bit conical. Yeah. Pretty nice. Pretty nice. Let's compare it to the old one. And it's pretty much the same, as you can see. Yeah. All right. This little rubber mount here, if it doesn't go on too well, you can lubricate with some silicone grease. The arrow should point up, so perflux should be readable like this. I think you can put it on like this as well, but yeah, whatever. I like to read stuff most of the time. This is the right way to put things on there. And this one, it sits on this little piece of plastic here. This sits right in that little thing there, so you will feel for it. First put it in like this, then slide it on to with a little bit of pressure onto the mass airflow sensor, up, and then you can feel it dropping down into the slot, so it cannot move back as you're driving. Pretty good. And the top one, doesn't matter, you can switch it. Top one should live in here. All right, and we'll clean it as well with some shop air. We like to go the extra mile here, of course. Oh, some sand. Telling you, man. Sand and dirt and debris, just blow it off with some air. All right, now we have to make sure that this top cover goes back on like it should. Make sure these ones are in good position. So I was especially struggling last time, every time actually, with this one. This one keeps on interfering when you put it on. So we'll get this one out with a screwdriver as we put it on. It has to stay back. All right, all the rest is good in position to be clicked on. They can tumble a bit down, so make sure they're like this to avoid extra frustrations. Are you a frustrated guy? Are you? Well, then listen to me. Let's get our screwdriver and get this one back. So you have to tilt it up a little bit, and then you can press it back. Yep, like this. So I'm telling you, it's kind of frustrating. So maybe if I cut the video here, you know what's up. I just slapped a little bit, so I have to get a little pocket screwdriver probably. Wait, let's restart. So everything else is still in place. Yeah, okay. And we'll slide this one in position. We'll try it at least. Yeah, you have to wiggle it around and feel for it, because and recheck everything. So in the meantime, there's nothing that interferes. Also, the lip has to sit in the air filter as well at the same time. So can be a little. Yeah, I can feel the lip is good on the air filter. So I'm pressing it down a little bit. And now the trick is to get this bad boy back and push down at the same time. But this one is not wanting to go in. Yep, feel for it again. And I think maybe we have a little breakthrough. All right. I can feel it's almost right in position. Now we will feel for the other ones. Problem was that my point here in the back was sitting a little bit too much to the left. Can happen, so wiggle it here so it goes a little bit more to the right, and then try again. As you can see, I'm sweating, it's hot here, so this feels better. I think let's lift this little guy up again. Yep, so yep, I think maybe this one could work. Nope, still a problem on the back here. All right, regroup, restart. So I found the trick, everything was good. Turn the filter a little bit. As you can see, it's pretty hot in here. Just stick a screwdriver between the plastic and the little tab right over there, so you have a little bit more playroom. Well, this is not interfering. So I'll tap it everywhere a little bit, and then the first one I connected is the rear tab over there somewhere, over here. All right, now we'll see if the rest goes in, and especially this one. This is a little booger. Yeah, that one goes in. It's okay. Okay, these ones go in as well. Before I connect the last one, because that's an easy one, let's try the other ones. So you lift them up a little bit. If you can see it, you have to lift them up a little bit. At the same time, you have to click them in. It's not so easy. Alright, so we need 2 screwdrivers, one to lift them up and then the other one to click them in, or a magnet perhaps. Let's try. Improvisation on the scene. Alright, let's make it a little bit stronger, stiffer. Oh yeah, look. Take your magnet, pull it up a little bit and then let's push it and it goes in. Bam. Yep. Yeah, works well with the magnet. Pretty good stuff. And yeah, the last one goes in as well. Hopla. Yep, sounds good. And the last tab over here. You can just push them in with your fingers. Alrighty, that's how you change the air filter on a 2-liter diesel, turbo diesel. Yeah, next is the cabin filter before we do the diesel filter. Alright, cabin filter Torx 20, one over here. Yeah, one over here and one over here. So take them out. Yep. All right. And it will come out from the back. Yeah, there's one more in the middle, so it seems. I forgot. So 3 bolts, Torx 20. And there we go. Wiggle, detach the connector for the lights. Yep, there we go. And another one over here. And there's a little hook that's also hooked in on a little piece of plastic here. But if you wiggle it out, it will come out. Yep, there we go. Then let's get a better visual. We have the pollen filter, and this is the ideal time to clean the airco system, the vent system at least. So we shove this over there. Yeah, a little bit further perhaps. Yep, that's it. And the pollen filter, as you can see, it's pretty dirty. It comes out. Yep. There's no airflow direction on there, but normally you cannot get it in wrong, so pay attention. Take this one out, and if you want to clean the system, you're gonna you're gonna make sure that you put back in the plastic piece over here. So I'm gonna cut the filter off so I can block the hole when I put in the product. And, let me show you what I put in there. This like a third of this can will do. This is a Motip airco cleaner. Leaves a nice fresh scent and gets rid of all the bacteria and microbes on the evaporator on the airco system, of the airco system rather. So this one is pretty good. Buy it, fill it up until the mousse comes out, the foam, the cleaning foam, and then you leave the car running for like 10 minutes with the windows closed, and then you open the windows and do the same thing for 10 minutes. So all the foam and the vapors come out again. My little trick here is to grab a piece of wire, copper wire, something stiff that you can bend more or less, then stick it in the hole where the evaporator lives as far as you can, somewhere, yeah, like that, something like that, I think. Up, then if you're there, grab your can and spray it. Yep, right, make sure it's on there so the car isn't filled with foam, and yep, we're more or less over there. Yeah, it's already a decent amount. I would say, yeah, that's a good amount. All right, as you can see, it's pretty foamy. Now, you just cut the cabin filter off. The old one, you cut it off just with a knife, slice it. So we just have this piece left, so you can block off the whole. Oh, we have a little bit of a cream pipe problem here. So now we can block off the hole, as you can see, and we're gonna let the car blow everything through for like 10 minutes, something like that, and then we'll come back. And with the windows closed, remember, so the product can make its way, and you have to of course turn on the recirculation. Let me see, yeah, this button over here. So turn on this one, turn on the AC, start the engine, and let it do its job with the windows closed. 10 minutes. So let's start the engine, because the AC system has to work, of course. Yep, it's a good one. Now we turn on the AC system. We turn on the vent. Now we turn on the recirculation button, and we let it do its job. And we remove ourselves. Yep, close the doors, of course. And we take a little break, or we can check for sounds and weird things, but everything seems to be correct. Lift the isolation sound isolation piece. The loose injectors all clean, sound great. If you have leaking injectors, now it's time to check it and fix it. Alrighty, see you in 10 minutes. So don't forget to check your power steering. Just clean this one off. As you can see, the engine is cold. Maximum, measure it, just go in, up. Maximum at the level of 20 degrees Celsius. When the engine is hot, the maximum should be here. Alright, and of course, what I forgot to say as well is to check your brake fluid. Make sure it's topped off, somewhere between minimum and maximum, as your brakes wear down, this drops a little bit. So don't always top it off at maximum, because then you will not see the wear on your brakes. This one is a little below maximum, new front brakes, but the rear is 70%, something like that. So this one is correct, and you can also measure it with a special meter. If you stick it in there, you measure the water that's in your brake fluid, and it will tell you if you need to swap it out. Normally each 2 years or 4 years, some brands say, or 50,000 kilometers, but that's a little bit it's a little bit too fast, I think. You should do it each 4 or 5 years. That will be good for you and your brake system, so it doesn't corrode and the lines stay in good shape. Run for an extra 10 minutes with all the windows open. Doors can be open as well, of course. Yep, and now it's time to put in the new one. So pay attention, there's an arrow, should be an arrow, that points the direction of airflow. Mega filter, nope, there's no arrow on this one. Yep, all right, yep, luckily we know it's we know it should be like this. So the steeper side to the left, because the arrow goes like this up in this case. And let's get in there. Hopla. Yep, fits like a glove. Now press it and slide the plastic thing to the back. Make sure all slots are seated, well seated, of course. Yep. It's a stiff one, this one. Yep. Is it in everywhere? Yep, it is. And now you should. Yep. All right. The seal is new, so that was the problem, I think. But it's seated well. So that's how we clean the air system and install the new cabin filter. So don't forget to connect your lights and put the plastic cover back on. Next, the fuel filter. Let's swap the fuel filter, shall we? First, we disconnect the lines and maybe remove this this sensor right here. So let's do that first, so we have a little bit more room to work. Let's make sure you see it. All right, so this just slides off, I think. Yeah, it's with a little tap. Push the tap down with your finger and it slides forwards. Is there room? Nope, we have to disconnect the connector. All right, no problem. Just push the tab in and pull the connector backwards. Easier said than done. Yep, I can see the problem. And we'll solve it. Lift the tab with your pocket screwdriver a little bit, and then you will be able to slide it off. There we go. Don't forget to connect it again. It's a vacuum sensor solenoid, actually. So with this more or less out of the way, don't crack the lines. Let's put it over there. Perfect. Let's undo these clamps. Yep, I might use a better screwdriver. This one does a better job. Make sure the ignition is off, because this one, a lot of these models have an electric fuel pump also in the tank, so you don't have to bleed the system. You can just install a filter, put the ignition on, cycle it like let it run for a while. You'll hear blah blah blah. You hear the air bubbles come out, and then you can start the car, and it will hesitate a couple of times and then run just fine. All right. Now, how to get these off in a good way? Just lift it a bit with your screwdriver until it moves a little bit, and then you can pull on the hose at the same time. Make sure this one is loose enough, and it is. Yep. And there we go. That's one. Almost one. Make sure you don't switch the directions. They're marked on new filter. So this is the outgoing tube, and this is the arrow pointing for the incoming tube. So this is the fuel from the tank. This is the fuel that goes to the pump, the high pressure pump. All right. So let's get these bad boys off. Yep. And there we go. There we go. So there should be no more fuel running out at this point. Yep, that's the case. Let's loosen this one a little bit more as well. And the same trick over here. Now you actually cannot switch them up because there's a size difference. You'll see. Yep. And there we go. Second one is coming out. There will be a little bit of fuel, but not much. All right, so now we take our bigger screwdriver and we undo the clamps. So you have one over here on the top, it comes off, and one on the bottom, it comes off, and then you should be able, if you pull this little plastic tab, or you can do it with your screwdriver, if you pull it a little bit to the back, then this one comes out. And that's it. Oh, don't drip. Make sure your new filter is perfectly clean. We can save these tabs for later to block some lines off. You never know. Oh, yeah, one's gone. So here we have our new one. And it goes in just like that. Before we tighten it, we will reconnect the hoses. Up. That's one. Make sure the clamp is behind this little bigger piece, so we can block it. Up. We can make sure the fuel doesn't run out. Okay. All right, and this one as well. It slides nicely over it, and this way the lines sit as they have been sitting in there for 12-13 years now. So now we can tighten up the filter element. Yepla, that's one, and that's two, just with the help of the screwdriver. And now we can tighten up the clamps, and then we'll turn on the ignition, and I'll let you listen to the bubbles. This one should be hand tight, of course. Don't overkill it. And before we do that, up and up, double check. We are gonna clean this up. How do we do that? Well, a little bit of brake cleaner and some shop air. And try not to get everything on the windshields of the customer if you can. Spray gently in the beginning. As you can see, everything is nice and dry and clean, so we can test it for leaks, if they would be any leaks. There would be any leaks. My water my water bottle is empty. My mouth is dry, so my speech is nearly gone, which could be good in some cases. Up. There we go. Everything nice and tight, no tools left. All right, let's cycle the ignition. Yep. And let's listen. Allee, damn it. Shh. Haha, air bubbles. So, turned off, turn ignition on again. So it gets a second cycle of pumping action. And it already sounds great. So I think all the air is out. Yep, I think we're ready to start. We have no leaks. You can also feel it, that the fuel is running through the lines now, not anymore right now. So make sure your clamps are tight on there. They shouldn't really move. As you can see, they're nice and tight. And now let's start the car and see what it says. You won't see a lot, but the engine might start. And let's go. And she runs. Good sign. Let's open the gates. So we don't choke to that. Everything nice and dry. No leaks whatsoever. Alright. I think we're done here. I wish you all a good night and stay dirty. Catch you in the next one. Like, subscribe, hit the little notification bell if you want, so you never miss out on a video of mine. Thanks. Yo.